Hey guys, this is video reflection number 5 for chapter 5. And for this chapter we've talked about, again, various things, but this time relating to social networking and social groups. As we went through the chapter, for me, it kind of was not an eye-opener, but more so a connection to my real life, but applying sociological terms and examples, I guess, because I've always known of social networking and social groups and in and out groups, but I was now introduced to it through the sociological perspective, which was interesting for me. My entire life I kind of talked about this, I think, in my most interesting topics, which we don't read each other's. My family, more so my parents and even my grandparents and stuff, and I've learned it even through my siblings and myself about social networking and connections. And in the chapter talked about the people that you aren't really close to or don't have a strong connection to are your most valuable assets in life, or become your most strong connection. For me, my dad and my mom always had a strong social network here in Berwyn, just because they moved here back in the 80s, and they had us, my siblings and I, so there's 3 of us that went through the schooling systems here. All 3 of us went to West, so we were pretty known throughout the neighborhood, especially here in South Berwyn, because that's where we live. And my mom works at a local bar, which a lot of Berwyn regulars and or big people go to, our aldermen and stuff like that. So my mom knows a lot of people here in Berwyn, so she has a strong social network. And then my dad has a strong social network within the car community. He's a well-known mechanic out in the suburbs. So he has a reputation within that social networking group, and then people know us through that. Through, especially, how we have our car show here, and people are oh, you're Joe's kid. I'm yeah, that's me. And then my mom knows everyone here in Berwyn. So again, they both have really strong social networks and groups and ties throughout the city of Berwyn, and just within their own specific social networking group. And then my siblings and I have developed our own social network, social network here within Berwyn. Just with all 3 of us working at Paisans, your, local pizza place. So through working there, and as well as working at the Park District, I've kind of grown my own social network of knowing people. I know a lot of people in North Berwyn through the Park District, and some big time people know who I am through my boss and my boss's boss, and my brothers and sister have grown a social network through Paisans and knowing people through there. And my brother especially has grown a clientele, or regulars that want to be have his service while they go eat there, because he's a server there. And he's also grown a social network through working through the Boy Scouts, which is a whole other social network. So it was really interesting to see all of these normalities that I have in my life applied to sociology, which was quite interesting. But then for some reason, I found this chapter boring, maybe just because I'm a little, burnt out, because, it's spring break is right around the corner, and it's halfway through the semester, and it's getting nice outside. I don't want to be sitting here doing this. But for some reason, I just found this chapter, boring in the same way. I don't know. It's weird, but maybe just because I already knew about this. I don't know. It was interesting. But another, I guess, tangent I wanted to go off on from the chapter was in and out groups, which again was something I already kind of knew of, or put into perspective through other aspects of our society, through fashion and social media and stuff like that, in and out, I guess you could say, items or trends. But that's actually, it's a factor within sociology and in our societies itself. You could be someone who in an in group, which is the majority, or you could be a minority, which is an out group. And it really comes to play through your I guess, identity and how you, your, like, race and, gender, and I guess because the book describes it as, like, if you're the in group, you're, like, the majority group, so probably white person, like, Eastern European, whatever. Then the out group would be, like, they talked about, like, being gay and, well, specifically lesbian, but gay, or a person of color, like, which is quite interesting to put it in through that perspective. And it's crazy to see it in that perspective in which we do that with, like, items or trends. Like, right now it's in to have, like, the latest phone, I guess, or have the crazy Nike shoes that everybody has. Like, that's an in thing. Or if it's out, you're wearing, like, vintage. Well, even though vintage is kind of in, but certain aspects of that are, like, considered an out item. I don't know. But anyways, that's my little spiel on chapter 5. So thanks.